You have successfully joined the webcast. Please stand by. The meeting will begin shortly. You have successfully joined the webcast. Please stand by. The meeting will begin shortly. You have successfully joined the webcast. Please stand by. The meeting will begin shortly.
Hey, good afternoon, everyone. Now call to order the meeting of the directors of the Empire State New Market Corporation for Wednesday, July 15th, 2026. My name is Kevin Eunice, and I'd like to know for the record that this meeting is being webcast, and I will be the acting chair of today's meeting. Before we continue, I'd like to welcome 3 new members of our board joining us today. Linda Malabe, our Regional Director for ESD's Mid-Hudson office, Karen Nutz, the Regional Director for our Western New York office, and Michael Yevely, the Capital Region Regional Director. On the board's behalf, welcome, and we know you'll do a tremendous job here as we move forward with the work of the corporation. Note for the record, the public was given the opportunity to comment on the agenda items by submitting their written comments by noon on July 14th. And I also say for the record that no comments were received from the public concerning today's agenda items. The directors have received the relevant written materials in advance of today's meeting and are free to ask questions at any time. At this time, I'd like to ask the directors whether anyone has any potential conflict of interest with respect to any of the items on today's agenda. All right. Hearing none, I would like to advance the first item of today's agenda, which is the approval of the minutes of March 16th, 2026 directors meeting. Are there any comments, questions, additions, or deletions with regard to those minutes? If not, I would entertain a motion for approval.
I'll move it.
Second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. None opposed. The motion carries. John Evan Hornsby, President of the New York State New Market Corporation, will now present the next item on today's agenda, which is the authorization to adopt the proposed general project plan as it relates to the Harvest Prime project. John Evans.
Thanks, Kevin, and good afternoon, all. Empire State New Market Corporation requests approval to allocate up to $14 million in federal New Markets tax credits for the purpose of enabling the subsidiary CDE to make loans to a borrower to finance the purchase of equipment, inventory, and working capital, to upgrade infrastructure and modernize a 30,000 square foot food distribution facility, and designate authority to the president of ESNMC and his designee to take any and all actions with respect to such allocation of NMTCs, the final terms of all transaction documents, and closing the transaction. Harvest Prime is a New York-based wholesale food distribution business focused on acquiring, stabilizing, and modernizing essential food supply infrastructure that serves rural and economically distressed communities throughout New York State. The company currently serves as a cornerstone of the regional food supply chain, in which it performs the essential function of ensuring that affordable, high-quality, nutritional resources remain accessible to the underserved rural populations and low-income neighborhoods of New York State. Harvest Prime connects farms and food producers with commercial customers. Its product portfolio includes fresh fruits and vegetables, premium beef, pork, poultry, and seafood, locally grown farm products, specialty and gourmet foods, and dairy and grocery essentials. Its customers include small retailers, independent grocers, restaurants, schools, healthcare providers, and nonprofit institutions. Harvest Prime is a holding company of two food distribution companies, Antonucci Wholesale Foods LLC and Syracuse Banana LLC. Harvest Prime purchased the companies in 2025 and is investing in technology, equipment, and infrastructure to modernize and grow the businesses. Antonucci Wholesale Foods operates two sites, one in Gloversville, New York, and another in Athens, New York. The project involves the modernization, stabilization, and business expansion of a 30,000 square foot food distribution center in Gloversville, New York, operated by Antonucci Wholesale Foods. Since the business was purchased in April 2024, Harvest Prime has implemented process and staffing improvements. ESNMC's financing will allow the business to upgrade equipment and infrastructure and invest in inventory and other working capital needs to allow the company to grow and respond to the increased market demand. By upgrading this facility post-acquisition, Harvest Prime plans to secure the long-term viability and vital link in the regional food supply chain. By strengthening cold chain reliability and logistics performance, the project will continue to support food access, price stability, and service continuity. The proposed financing is recommended for multiple reasons. The investment is generally consistent with ESNMC's strategy proposed to the CDFI fund. ESNMC's strategy is to invest in transactions that create quality jobs, revitalize economically distressed neighborhoods, and increase access to essential goods and services, especially in communities that have faced decades of underinvestment. The project fits well with this strategy as it will create and retain quality and accessible jobs, allow ESNMC to provide up to $14 million of NMTC allocation to finance non-real estate uses, and is located in a non-metropolitan community and also a deeply distressed census tract. The project's community outcomes are compelling and are consistent with ESNMC's NMTC application and community outcome objectives. The project is expected to create 46 and retain 121 permanent full-time equivalent jobs for 167 FTE jobs total. All 167 are accessible jobs that are available to people without a college degree or who face barriers. The project has been recommended by the ESNMC Project Review Committee and approved by the ESNMC Advisory Board. Thank you. I'm happy to take any questions.
Thanks, John Evan. Are there questions or comments from the directors on this item? No. All right, if not, I would entertain a motion for approval.
I'll move it.
Second.
I'll second it.
All right, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Hearing none. Thank you. The motion carries. The next item on the agenda will be the authorization of a general project plan as it relates to the Walgreens project. John Evan, whenever you are ready.
Thanks again. Appreciate it. Empire State New Market Corporation requests approval to allocate up to $14 million in federal new markets tax credits for the purpose of enabling the subsidiary CDE to make loans to a borrower to finance equipment, inventory, and working capital for 3 Walgreens pharmacies identified as at risk of closure in underserved, economically distressed rural communities in Johnstown, Liberty, and Norwich, New York, and to delegate authority to the president of ESNMC and his designee to take any and all action with respect to such allocation of NMTCs, the final terms of all transaction documents, and closing the transaction. For 125 years, Walgreens has been a trusted presence in communities across the country, helping people live healthier lives through accessible care, trusted advice, and convenient neighborhood services. What began as a single corner pharmacy in 1901 has grown into one of the nation's leading retail pharmacy providers, while remaining committed to its core mission of improving community health and wellness. Today, Walgreens offers more than prescription services, providing specialty pharmacy care, health and wellness programs, vaccinations, preventive care, health screenings, and both virtual and in-person clinic visits. As traditional healthcare infrastructure continues to decline, particularly in rural communities, Walgreens has increasingly become a vital community healthcare hub. Despite its essential role, Walgreens is facing significant financial challenges nationwide, rural stores experiencing some of the greatest pressures. Pharmacy benefit managers frequently reimburse prescriptions at or below wholesale acquisition cost, while Medicare and Medicaid reimbursement rates often fail to cover the actual cost of medications. In addition, the closure of Rite Aid stores has shifted thousands of prescriptions to neighboring Walgreens locations, increasing volume without improving profitability because many of those prescriptions continue to be reimbursed below cost. As part of its nationwide restructuring following its transition to private ownership in 2025, Walgreens has announced plans to close approximately 1,200 stores. Among those identified as being at risk are the Johnstown, Liberty, and Norwich locations, each serving communities with a disproportionately high percentage of low-income residents and government-paid patients. The NFTC financing will support equipment, inventory, and working capital necessary to maintain operations at these locations. The continued operation of these 3 pharmacies is critical to the health and well-being of the communities they serve. Located in federally designated primary care shortage areas, these stores provide access not only to prescription medications, but also to vaccinations, preventive care, health screenings, and other essential healthcare services that many residents would otherwise struggle to obtain. They also serve as an important source of affordable household goods, groceries, and health and wellness products. Collectively, the project is expected to serve more than 372,000 individuals annually, approximately 58% of whom are low income, while creating and retaining 47 jobs and preserving essential healthcare access in these rural communities. The proposed financing is recommended for multiple reasons. The investment is generally consistent with ESMC's strategy proposed to the CDFI fund. The project fits well with the strategy as it will retain quality and accessible jobs, provide goods and services, including health services and healthcare access, allow ESMC to provide up to $14 million of NFT allocation to finance non-real estate uses, and is located in a non-metropolitan community. The project's community outcomes are compelling and are consistent with ESMC's NFTC application and community outcome objectives. As mentioned, the project is expected to create or retain 47 permanent full-time jobs. 100% of the jobs will receive benefits, including health insurance, paid time off, 401k, and life insurance. The project is expected to retain an estimated 30 accessible jobs that are available to people without a college degree or who face other barriers to employment. The project has been recommended by the ESMC Project Review Committee and approved by the ESMC Advisory Board. Thank you, and I'm happy to take any questions.
Thanks again, John Evan. Questions or comments from the directors on this item? All right. If not, I would entertain a motion for approval.
So moved.
I'll second.
All right. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? The motion carries. The final item on today's agenda is an authorization to amend the contract with Cone Resnick LLP to provide accounting services for the corporation. John Evan, yet again, back up.
Thank you. This is a request for authorization to amend the contract with Cone Resnick LLP to provide accounting services to Empire State New Market Corporation in connection with ESMC's current allocations and potential future allocations of federal new markets tax credits and deployment thereof. ESMC requires accountants experienced in the NMTC program in order to operate its program. Given ESMC's success in securing NMTC allocation awards from the Community Development Financial Institutions Fund and closing numerous NMTC transactions, the volume and complexity of accounting work required for ESMC and its subsidiary community development entities has increased significantly. As a result, the original contract amount awarded to Cone Resnick is no longer sufficient to support the scope of work. The directors are being requested to make a determination of responsibility with respect to the contractor and authorize the corporation to amend the contract with Cone Resnick LLP for an amount not to exceed an additional $1 million for a total contract amount not to exceed $1.5 million. Thank you. Happy to take any questions.
All right. Thanks again, John Evan. Any questions or comments from the directors with regard to this item?
Yeah.
All right. As noted earlier, we do not have comments from the public, and I would entertain a motion for approval. I would just go on the record to say to Reese, maybe I didn't state for the other two, there were not comments on the previous two items either that were already voted on by the board. Entertain a motion for approval of this item.
I'll move it.
Do I have a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Thank you. The motion carries. Thanks, folks, for joining and participating into your very first meeting for most of you. Appreciate the time, and thank you all for your work to advance this agenda. There being no further business, I would call for a motion to adjourn.
I'll move it. Motion.
It's moved. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.